The anime continues with 3 students approach Nagi at his footlocker, asking him if he's prepared for the upcoming midterm tests, which he sternly answers yes. While Nagi walks away from them, he recalls what advice his father gave him about picking his future bride. In class, Nagi reflects on his feelings mainly for Erika and Sachi. This also causes him to get stressed out and not able to focus on the test he's taking. At home, as Nagi prepares dinner, Sachi and Erika sigh deeply, relieved now that their test periods are over. The following day, Hiro approaches Nagi and asks if he's okay because of his mood during the exams. Nagi assures her he's fine, and the two walk to their classroom. There, Nagi learns that he placed 13th in the school ranking, leaving him in disbelief. Later, several groups of students that once praised Nagi throughout the day now disparage him for his ranking. Their conversation is disturbed by Hiro, who glares at Nagi with an upset look on her face and then walks away. Later that day at home, Erika gossips to Sachi about how Nagi placed 13th in the midterm tests, which astonishes her. Within his room, Nagi reflects on how he failed his test and his feelings for Erika, Sachi, and Hiro. Eventually, Erika barges into his room and demands that Nagi prepares dinner. This gets the two into a heated argument over Nagi's 13th placement in the exams. But it ends after Erika assures Nagi, who thinks of himself as trash, is still valuable to her. So Nagi soon prepares dinner and then spends the rest of the evening hours continuing his studying. The following morning, a pumped-up Nagi hopes to redeclare to Hiro about beating her at the midterm test. However, she never comes to their morning study session. Afterward, Nagi runs into Hiro, and they briefly talk, only for Hiro to walk away before Nagi can ask his important question. Nagi would later realize that Hiro was avoiding him. However, Nagi later finds a note in his shoe locker from Hiro asking for him to meet her in the back of the gym later. Asking for Erika's opinion on the matter, she claims that Nagi has reached rock bottom with his relationship with her. Unbeknownst to the two, Hiro was watching them. After school, at the basketball court, he blurts out his emotions to her. Which they also have a heart-to-heart moment, where Hiro confesses that she was always under the impression that she was the only one to reach his heart. That night, Nagi passionately studies but is interrupted by Erika, who asks that he help her with her studies. Erika reveals that their father wants her back home if she fails her makeup midterm exam. The following morning, Erika, dressed in a military outfit, gives a brief speech to Nagi about her parents wanting her back home after scoring the lowest score in school. Without wasting any time, Nagi starts their study session, and Sachi joins them. During this session, Erika has trouble with one of the problems and asks for Nagi's help, but his curt response to it backlashes, and he loses his cool. Things start to heat up when it's brought up that Erika can't study properly, and so she leaves the room, claiming that it's fate her father wants her back home. Later that evening, Nagi catches Sachi resting on the couch, because Erika was attentively studying in her room. Hence, Nagi decides to help Erika by lecturing her about how to study, and what the makeup exam is comprised of. The two of them become resolved to study for the rest of the night, and Sachi decides to sleep in Nagi's room for the night. When it's time to reveal Erika's makeup test score, she passes. That night, they celebrate Erika passing her makeup exam, and Nagi notes his disdain for doing all of the hard work for her to help her achieve it. To commemorate the occasion, Sachi suggests that Erika attend a local festival by her home that their parents love participating in. On the day of the festival, Nagi and Sachi help their parents set up their yakisoba stall. When their parents leave to take care of some business, Sachi tells Nagi that Erika will show up after she prepares for the festival. Few moments later, Nagi saves Sachi from falling, leaving her somewhat embarrassed. Then Hiro stumble upon their stall, surprising Nagi. She reveals that her temple is one of the sponsors of the event. Nagi then introduces Sachi as his sister to Hiro, who gives her the cold shoulder. Taking this as intruding on them, Hiro leaves them, but before doing so, she offers to walk with Nagi later, and he accepts. Later that evening, Erika and Sachi dressed in yukatas and walk around the festival. By chance, they run into Hiro, and Erika introduces Sachi as her sister, which confused Hiro. After that, Erika and Nagi run to the place where the festival was being held. Upon arriving at the area, an excited Erika asks Nagi where they should go first, but he hopes to hook up with Hiro, who's still busy on her side. Despite Hiro's absence, Nagi is glad he can enjoy the festival with Erika. On the other hand, Erika is sad that Sachi couldn't join them because her parents suggested they enjoy the festival together as fiancés. Spotting a goldfish scooping stand, Erika tries to pay with a credit card, but the vendor won't allow it. So, she asks for some cash from Nagi, and he gives it to her. After a few tries, Erika fails to catch a single fish and decides to move to another stand. The next stand they visit is a lottery, where Erika wins a mustache and glasses. However, Erika is determined to win first place. This prompts Nagi to stop and drag her off, drawing a crowd's attention. Putting a soba mask on Erika's face, Nagi claims he'll show Erika how to have a fun time at the festival. They then visit a few tables, and while Erika is hyper-focused on a die-cutting game, Nagi leaves her to get some okonomiyaki for them. At the okonomiyaki table, Nagi runs into Sachi, accompanied by some friends from her school. After their brief conversation, Sachi and her friends leave Nagi, and Sachi's friends speak disparagingly about Nagi, causing Sachi to defend her brother's name. Afterward, Nagi and Erika eat their okonomiyaki behind a temple, and are soon confronted by Erika's stalkers. Upon seeing that Nagi is there too, their leader Shibata, now a buffed-out man, vows to get rid of Nagi. But instead of fighting, Nagi flees with Erika in tow. Out of sight of the stalkers, they then have a heart-to-heart about festivals, and fireworks start to go off. As they watch the fireworks, they're soon joined by Hiro, who says she was looking for the two. Immediately, Hiro asks why they both call Sachi their sister, and what their relationship is between her and the two of them. Erika then drags the flustered Nagi out of the area, and once they're out of sight from Hiro, they argue about how Hiro knows about Sachi. Ultimately, Nagi and Erika decide to inform Hiro of their relationship with Sachi, and their prearranged engagement. Later they all walk home together, until Erika remembers that she forgot to buy a present for Sachi at the festival, and leaves to buy her one. As Hiro and Nagi were going to go their separate ways, Hiro stopped Nagi in his tracks, and asked that they keep no more secrets between them. Unbeknownst to them, Sachi was watching the scene unfold. At home, Erika delivers her presents to Sachi, which Sachi then indirectly asks Erika what she thinks of Hiro. The next morning, Sachi and Erika both prepare to go on a secret mission. Soon, they observe their target Hiro walk out of a market with a big bag full of food. Their observation continues throughout the day, as Hiro returns a 100 yen coin to a police station, rejects a handsome boy that hits on her, helps a kitten find a home, and plays with a group of kids. Although Erika suggests that Sachi go and talk to Hiro, she doesn't want to, and only wants to know what kind of person she is. Erika claims that Hiro is a great person. Sachi thinks Erika is also siding with Hiro, and decides to hurry home. At home, Sachi confronts Nagi in his room, where she openly declares that Hiro is someone that Nagi could never reach. As startled as he was, Nagi then asks Sachi how she knew so much about Hiro, which Sachi then beats him up and declared that she will attend his school next year. The next day, Sachi draws attention to herself because of her beautiful appearance. From afar, Nagi and Erika comment on the attraction Sachi is garnishing. Then, Hiro approaches her and introduced herself to Sachi as her guide. Panic-stricken by this turn of events, Nagi then proclaims to Erika that Sachi will undoubtedly convey embarrassing facts about him to Hiro. So, Nagi suggests they follow them to prevent it from happening. Hiro first shows Sachi the library, as Nagi carefully watches them. Erika then comments that they're like an older and younger sister together. This makes Nagi daydream about Sachi's stand by his wedding with Hiro and congratulates them. They then went to the courtyard. There, Sachi asks what Hiro thinks of Nagi. Sheepishly, Hiro answers that she's already engaged, but is curious about Nagi. The man in question confronts the two, and asks what they are talking about, which the two decline to comment, flustering Nagi. That night at home, Nagi informs Sachi that the dinner is ready. However, she's disinterested in eating, and focuses on her studies. Afterward, they visit the Yumano family diner, to consult their parents about Sachi's new endeavor. Nagi's primary concern is the costs associated with the school they attend. Despite this, their parents agree to it. They explains they will sell the shop to get the money to pay for Sachi's endeavor, which Sachi vehemently disapproves of, leading to an argument between them. Erika then chimes in and mediates the situation successfully. Later, Sachi fetches her school supplies, and they return home. Thanks for watching the video. Still want to watch more anime recap? Click the videos on the screen to watch more. And don't forget to subscribe to catch the latest upload. Bye.